If you bite your lip again, warned the millionaire boss, she didn't know his limits fire. The first time Adrian Vale noticed Mara biting her lip, it was during a boardroom presentation with 12 executives in a view of the city glittering behind them. She did it when she was nervous, or focused. Adrian had learned that much in the 3 months since she become his executive assistant. He leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled, eyes unreadable. The numbers on the screen blurred as his attention narrowed to the small, unconscious movement of her mouth. Bite, release, breathe, Ms. Reyes, he interrupted smoothly, voice calm. Continue. Mara startled, cheeks warming. She swallowed and forced herself to stop, finishing the slide with precision. When the meeting adjourned, the room emptied quickly, leaving the hush of success and the hum of the skyline. Close the door, Adrian said. Her heart skipped. She did as told, standing straight, professional. Is there a problem, sir? He rose, tall and immaculate, moving closer, not invading her space, but near enough that she felt the shift in the air. Only a warning, he said softly. If you bite your lip again during a meeting, I'll assume you're distracting yourself on purpose. Mara blinked. What? A corner of his mouth curved. Relax, it's a joke. But his eyes lingered a beat too long, and she walked back to her desk wondering why her pulse refused to settle. Adrian Vale was a self-made millionaire with limits he enforced like laws. No office romances, no blurred lines. He'd built his empire on discipline after learning the cost of losing control. Everyone knew it, especially him, and yet, days passed, busy and efficient. Emails, calls, flights. The city rushed around them. Then came the late night before a merger, the kind that demanded coffee and quiet. Mara worked across from him in the private office, sleeves rolled, hair pinned up. The lamp cast warm light over her notes. She bit her lip as she reviewed a clause. Adrian looked up, his jaw tightened. Mara, he said, voice low. She froze. Yes. He stood again, slower this time. You're doing it. Her fingers curled. I'm sorry. It's a habit. I warned you, he said, though there was no edge, only restraint, taut as a wire. She met his gaze, surprised by her own steadiness. You said you'd assume I was distracting myself on purpose. And are you? The question hovered between them. The city pulsed outside. Somewhere inside her, something brave, or reckless, answered before fear could stop it. Maybe, she said. Silence. Then a breath she hadn't known he was holding. Adrian stepped back, rubbing a hand over his jaw. That's my limit, he said quietly. You don't cross it. Not here. Mara nodded, chastened. Understood. He turned away, shoulders tight. For the rest of the night, they worked without looking at each other. When they finished, it was nearly midnight. Good work, he said, clipped. Go home. She left, heart aching with questions she didn't ask. The next morning, an invitation waited on her calendar, dinner. Off-site, optional. Optional felt like permission. The restaurant was understated elegance, candlelight and soft music. Adrian arrived without his usual armor, no tie, sleeves unbuttoned, eyes tired but intent. This isn't a meeting, he said after they ordered. It's a conversation. Mara nodded. About limits, yes. He watched the flame flicker. I don't cross mine because when I do, I don't know how to stop. Her breath caught. That sounds lonely. He met her gaze. It is. She didn't bite her lip. She didn't need to. Then maybe, she said carefully, limits aren't walls. Maybe they're doors. You choose when to open them. A long pause. Then Adrian smiled. Not the polished one, but something raw. You're dangerous, Ms. Reyes. So I've been told. They laughed, the tension easing. Conversation flowed. Books, travel, mistakes. He listened. Really listened. When the check came, neither rushed. Outside, the night was cool. They stood beneath the awning, close enough that warmth passed between them without touch. I won't ask you to risk your job, Adrian said. And I won't risk my company. Mara nodded. Then we don't. He exhaled. But I won't pretend there's nothing here. Neither will I. They parted without contact, the promise heavier than a kiss. Weeks passed. Professional. Careful. But glances lingered, smiles deepened. The line held, until the gala. Mara wore midnight blue, confidence stitched into every seam. Adrian's eyes found her across the room, and this time he didn't look away. On the terrace, away from the crowd, she laughed at something he said, and bit her lip. He stilled. Then he smiled, slow and certain. You know, he murmured, I warned you. She tilted her head. And I told you, doors. He stepped closer, not touching. We're not at the office. No, she agreed, pulse racing. We're not. His voice dropped. My limits are still mine. But tonight, I choose to open one. Mara met his gaze, steady. Then choose carefully. He did. He took her hand. Just that, and it felt like crossing a line with intention, not fear. The city shone below them, endless and alive. Adrian Vale, the man with iron limits, learned something new that night. Control wasn't about never giving in. It was about knowing exactly when, and who, you were willing to risk it for. In Mara, she smiled, free of nervous habits, because some warnings weren't meant to stop you. They were meant to make sure you were ready. Fire.